Howdy everybody, it's Amy from Amy Sparkly can't talk. I saw a bug as I was saying that flying by, so it almost came out Amy Sparkly Bug Painting. Amy Sparkly Diamond Painting. So I've got a product review package for you today, but this video is going to be a little bit longer and a little bit different because I'm going to kit this project up and start this. Because I've been waiting for this one and I'm really excited about it. And yes, I said kitting up, which is normally a diamond painting type term, because this is a beaded cross stitch. I know you've seen a lot of them probably lately if you're watching other cross stitch content creators out there. But if you're a diamond painter and haven't seen some of those, then this might be new to you. But these have become very, very popular because there are more and more bead colors that they're coming up with, and they're a lot of fun. And so the designs are getting bigger and more complicated with these, so it's pretty cool. So thank you to Newcraftday for sending this to me. This wasn't a deal where they showed me like 4 or 5 things and told me to pick one of those. This is something I was free to pick whatever I wanted. So this is what I picked out to show you because I think it's really cool and I'm going to really enjoy making this one. So it did come in about, I think 10 days, 10 business days, so close to 2 weeks. It was a pretty quick ship. And because it was an already made kit, there was no production required, so it was a really quick ship. So Newcraftday, if you haven't been on their website, I've done a lot of unboxings for them. They're a really good company to work with, very friendly, and they also offer a bunch of diamond paintings, like a ton of diamond paintings of all different types. Square, round, AB drills, all that good stuff, and a lot of off-canvas items, but they also sell cross-stitch as well, the stamped cross-stitch kits and the beaded cross-stitch kits, which is what we have here. So they always have sales going on, even though it's the day after Halloween and all the Halloween sales are ending. We are moving toward Christmas and Black Friday and all those good things that come at the end of the year. So they have sales going on for all that stuff too. So I'm going to tell you the full price of this, but you never pay full price on these websites. There's always discount codes, and I will put mine below. There's also discount codes on the site and automatic discounts as you put stuff in your cart. There's free blind box stuff sometimes, free gifts, all sorts of things. So check out Newcraftday. I do buy from them from time to time. I try to kind of circle around for all the different companies that I do reviews for, because I want to make sure that as a regular customer that I get good service and all that. So I do shop there probably about every 3 months, maybe every 2 to 3 months, because now I've got about 5 or 6 companies I work with. And so I kind of rotate around and take turns buying from all of them, because they all offer a lot of the same stuff with slightly different packing methods, maybe slightly different prices, different discounts and all that. So I shop around for the best prices each time I shop, but I also look for different items because some have some things that others don't, and some get them faster than others, and it just depends. So I go around and kind of fill carts from all of the different sites, and then I'll sit on those items and kind of wait until I have enough to do a full shipment. So anyway, Newcraftday, thank you for allowing me the chance to work with this beautiful kit, because this is something special. So let's take a look. Let's not talk about it anymore. So I did open the package to take a peek, but this is one of the thin plastic mailers, but because it's a cross stitch, it's okay, because they don't get damaged and squished quite like a diamond painting. So this is one of those brown envelopes that you've probably seen several times. I've unboxed a few already, but I wanted to caution you. First thing is, be careful when you open these, because the beads are heavy in these, especially these larger ones, which means that the bottom can come undone and the beads can be spilled out. Well, the bag of beads, not the individual beads, but the bag of beads could be in a different spot in your bag. So watch out for the bottom, especially when you store them later on. You don't want to lose the beads out of this container. So this is what we have here. Isn't that beautiful? Look at all those bright colors there against that dark color. That seems to be a theme that I've been trying to do with diamond painting as well lately, is bright colors against black. And that's definitely some fall colors in there, so I'm really excited to work on this. But this is a full coverage, full tapestry of beads. So it's not a partial with a plain background. This entire thing is worked with beads, which is why this is so thick and heavy. So this one is Butterfly and Flowers. I'll have to check on the website and put the link down below for the item. Now this one normally is $39. However, like I said, with discount codes and all that, they do become much more affordable. And they also have some smaller ones. So if you're not sure you want to try one of these big beaded cross stitch kits, but you want to give it a shot, they do have several smaller ones that are much more affordable than this. So you have lots of options out there. So this one, this is the name of the company here. I'm not even going to try to pronounce it. I did try to learn Chinese before in the past, because I've always had a little bit of an interest in foreign languages with my stamp collecting. But I found that the different tones and everything in Chinese was really hard for me as an American to discern and pronounce. But I do still appreciate the writing. I think that's amazing. So we have here, shows 142 by 142 stitches, I should say, or beads. So 9 count, this is 40 centimeters by 40 centimeters. So it's a big one with a ton of beads in this one. So let's open this up and take a look at what we have. So I have not opened this yet. Let's see. Take out all the goodies here. Okay, we got everything. And I'm probably not going to put it back in the box because of the kitting up process that I will show you here. So we have this beautiful bag of beads, and I noticed on the other one that I unboxed somewhat recently is that they seal these bags here. So this is heat sealed, so you can't even open it without cutting or tearing this open, which means the beads in the bag are really secure. So hopefully in the factories, if any of these do come open and these fall out, none of the individual bags will come out because they are so carefully sealed in there, and they will hopefully find their way back to the kit. So we do have the thread here. This is, it's not quite like nylon fishing line. It's white. It's a little bit thicker, and you have a ton of thread on this. And I really do like this, but I like to use it as 2 strands instead of just one, and I'll show you why in a little bit here when I work on this. So we have the beads, the thread. You know what's missing? Well, this could be a shorter video than I thought. Let me double, okay, never mind. It was me. There we go. It was stuck against the side. I peeked in there and I thought I had everything out. We're missing probably one of the more important parts, although I could have maybe figured it out without, and that's the color key here. So we have instructions in English now. When they first came out, the instructions were in Chinese, but you could use Google Translate. But they do have instructions here. But basically, you put the needle up through one corner, put a bead on, and put it down through the diagonal corner on the square. Very simple. And then you just keep doing the next. But there are tips and tricks I can show you that'll keep your beads more secure and keep it nice and tight. So this one does have 21 colors. That's one of the things. I hadn't opened it yet, so I wasn't sure how many containers I needed, so I had a few sitting here for kitting up, but luckily they're all gonna fit in my favorite way to kit these up, and that's my Harbor Freight containers. So these you can buy at Harbor Freight. There are 24 in there, so since this one only has 21 colors, it'll fit nicely in there. So we have the chart here, 142 by 142 stitches, 40 by 40 centimeters. These are 9 count to fit the size of the beads there. And you have, again, the instructions there. You also have a color chart here which matches, of course, the symbols and colors on here. And that means that you don't have to just do beaded cross stitch with this. You could use this chart for other crafts as well, including diamond painting. So diamond painting is about 10 count. This is 9 count. It would be slightly bigger than a diamond painting. So I could get my own canvas and my own diamonds, and I could diamond paint this as well. So very clear symbols, very easy to read, but we don't really need the chart because we have everything printed on the fabric. So I'm going to flip this over now. We do have 3 good needles right there, and these needles work really well with this because they're kind of blunt. And this is the big 9 count canvas, so you don't want a needle too sharp to pierce into your little squares there. So those nice blunt needles are perfect. So look at how clear and easy that canvas is to read. Very, very clear. And it helps, oh, my pupper's gonna say hi there. It helps that it is 9 count there, so that there's plenty of room to print. I was gonna say write those symbols in, but nobody's writing that. They're printing from a machine. So with those big squares, the print shows up very clearly. And then you got your key here on the side that goes with the canvas. And I found that the symbols are pretty easy to read because there's quite a bit of difference from one to the other. So they start with circles, then they go with big X's and pluses, and then diagonal lines. Yep. But they have a background color on these, so even though they go a couple different directions, they're different colors, so they're really easy to see. And then some circles with colored backgrounds. So with 21 colors, there shouldn't be any mistaking any of the symbols here. Some of the ones that have a lot of colors, you might have like a dark blue X and another X that looks somewhat similar. And I did run into one where the dots here, I had 2 colors that were kind of close, but I was able to tell them apart. But just something to keep in mind for the big canvases with lots of colors, but with only 21 colors, these are all very easy to distinguish, which means I don't really need this. So that's good news, because even though we did find it, I could have done it without. So we do have the grid printed on here. This one is the sparkly Ida cloth or canvas. I think it's called pearlescent there. It's got a lot of glitter in the threads, but because this is a full coverage, that's not going to show in the background. It'll be enjoyable to look at as I stitch it, but that background really won't show. So the ink is printed on here. It is washable ink, which means you don't want to get your canvas wet until you are finished. So it's got all the grid markings and all the information up here, and the key and everything. That'll all wash out once you're finished. So when you're done, you will soak this in warm water, maybe a drop of detergent, and over about 10 or 15 minutes, maybe faster depending on how hot the water is, the ink will all come off and you'll be left with just a white background. Now out here we have hard water, so when I do the soaking for this, I'm not going to use my regular water. I'm going to buy a bottle of bottled water for it that's been usually spring water or distilled water that's been filtered, because I don't want our hard water to leave stains on these beautiful beads. So that is one thing to watch out for. If you do live in an area that has a lot of minerals in the water, where you get like spots on your glasses from the dishwasher and stuff like that, you probably don't want to use your sink water to wash this just because of the beads, because these are very shiny pearlescent beads, and if they get hard water stains on them, they just may not shine as well. So I use distilled water or bottled water to rinse my canvas when I'm done. So let's talk about the exciting part, and that's the beads. So I'm going to flip this over so we can take a look here at what we have. And only 21 colors is nice, because it's big and it's pretty and colorful, but not excessive. So I'm going to try to tear into that. There we go. So lots and lots of bright colors. Now, one of the first ones I did for these had a lot of similar colors in them because there was a lot of shading. But this one, you can tell all the different colors apart. I don't see any that are really close to each other. Of course, we got our black background here. It's almost kind of a grayish looking, but that's just because of the shine on these. So these are all pearlescent beads, but they are really good quality. They are plastic, but that's a good thing when you're dealing with a canvas of this size, because if these were glass, it would just be too heavy to be manageable. These are already pretty heavy when they're laying on there. So plastic beads are perfectly fine for this, and they are all perfectly sized. I don't throw any out. There's no trash. There's no bad beads that I've found. They're all even sizes, and if you can see those holes are very big. So for my eyesight, I have no trouble getting the needle through those holes and beading with them. Very quick and easy. So let's see what we have here, because we are going to kit this up. So there's 21. I'm looking for, there's color number 1. I know this part may seem kind of boring here, 3, 4, but I want to put them in order for what I'm going to do next. 8, 9, there's 5, there's 2. So we got 1 through 5. There must be a 6. Ooh, that's a, look at that. Pretty blue. 6. And then, I thought I saw, yes, 7 and 8. Ooh, 8's a big bag of green. Green is one of my favorite colors, so. Oh, I just love these colors. Look at all 3 of those greens. And they're all different colors, so they don't look really close to each other like the very first one of these I tried. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. So yes, everything is here, and we've got various sizes of bags that are holding the various colors. So why do I kit them up? I've seen other people using those little sticky pads to put the different colors of beads, and they leave them in the bags. I prefer, because I sit on the couch a lot when I stitch, I prefer these mini containers because I can number each one, and I'll show you how this works. Again, these are really cheap at Harbor Freight. But these little containers, you can put a sticker on the top or the side. Since they do kind of lay sideways in here, it's better to put the sticker on the side. But they have a little flip top, and they hold a lot of beads. Now some of these big bags, I can't fit them all in one container, but I can flip it open, scoop in, get my bead really quick, and then seal it, because my 90-pound lab thinks she can be a lapdog at times. And it's usually the most inconvenient times when I'm in the middle of stitching and not paying attention to her. So she will sometimes just jump in my lap. And if I weren't protecting my beads in some way, if I left them in the bags sitting out, they will spill. And I found that out with my first one that I tried, that these bags are prone to spilling, or I should say I'm prone to spilling them when I'm sitting on the couch and trying to stitch. So I found that this secures the beads very safely, and I have a lot less chance of losing the beads, because I don't know where to buy more of these. You know, with diamonds or diamond painting, if we lose a few diamonds, usually there's a lot of extra. I don't know how much extra comes in these kits, so we'll find out as we finish this one, but I don't want to lose any of them just in case there's not a whole lot of extras with them, because I don't know where to buy them. I think a few of the sites are starting to offer some of them, but as you'll see, there are no codes for the colors. So if there are companies out there making these that are listening to these videos, one improvement that I think would really help is to have a color identification number, sort of like the DMC codes for thread and for diamond painting. Some sort of color number that's universal to that color no matter what kit it's in, so that if we were to be missing some of the beads, we could have a way to purchase more of them, or at least report on the missing color, because I would hate to work on this and get near the end and have an accident or something happen where I'm missing some beads and just not be able to finish it, because I'm not sure where to get these. So I think I have enough of these kits now that I might be able to substitute a color okay, but it would really be neat to have some sort of universal code on those so that if I did lose some or run out or have a dog accident, I would be able to replace them. So I'm going to move some stuff out of the way here, and I'm going to get my little stickers, and we're going to kit this up. So it's just kind of like a diamond painting kit up, only we're dealing with beads. So I have stickers and my pen to write the numbers on, but there are no symbols unless I really wanted to. I found that with 21 colors I can read the key on the side just fine, and I don't need to put all the different symbols on here. So let's just start with number 1. So I'm going to take a container here and my little sticker, and we will label number 1, and I will not be able to fit all of the beads for some of these colors in here. I can already tell that, but that's okay. You know what? I was going to put this, we'll do it that way. I was thinking maybe I could trim it down and put it in the middle, but that works right there. So now we have color number 1 marked, and we can pour a bunch of these beads. Let's see how many this will hold, because my first kit was a small one. It didn't have very many colors, so about half of this big bag. And there is a little bit of static, a lot of similar issues that we run into with diamond painting. I could fit some more in here, but I don't want it to spill easily, so I'm going to leave a little bit of room there at the top so I can easily open it and scoop out the beads I need without potentially spilling any. So that's about right there. I'm not all the way full, but full enough that I can go a while on that color. So we'll move number 1 off to the side. And then we'll take our next container here and put a number 2 on it. So again, thank you Newcraftday for giving me this amazing kit. I think this is going to be a lot of fun. And if you stick around here, it shouldn't take too long to kit up, only 21 colors. And I will start this and show you how I do it, because I notice that it is a bit different than some of the other content creators out there that do the cross-stitch beading. So there is a little bit of static with some of these. Typically what I do is just, you can use dryer sheets, just like diamond painting. It's a lot of the same. But I will also just kind of give some humidity in there by breathing into the bag. So even though this one fit in there, I'm going to hold on to those bags. Not sure why at the moment, but just in case, I will hold on to it. So there's color number 2, really pretty green there. And it's been kind of rainy for some areas. We had a really good severe thunderstorm north of town last night. Well, I say good, not so good for the people in it. We had some pretty big hail and some flooding. Our neighborhood here got, looks like a little over 1.5 inches of rain, which was definitely needed. And we do have another chance of rain tonight and more severe weather possible tomorrow. So the weather's been a little bit hectic here, but we needed the rain, so I don't think we have too many people complaining. And at least around San Angelo, it hasn't been too rainy all day, so a lot of the outdoor activities as we head into the end of the season here, they're still going on. So that's why my hubby is still out at the racetrack for RC car racing today, because rain has not ruined their races, luckily. So there's color 3 and color 4 here. Put the sticker on, so just like diamond painting. Let's see, where did I move color 4? Some of these got moved over, oops, right in front of me. I had already grabbed it. So really bright yellow on this one. So just like diamond painting, oops, so I'm already losing a few. We're kitting up with all the same kind of issues and everything. So if you are a diamond painter, you've already become a little bit of an expert on dealing with things like static. These are really jumpy. So definitely some static in this color. Breathe into that. Shake it around a little bit. Yep, this one's staticky. But we don't have to pour them into a tray when we're beading, so it's okay because we're only going to be picking them out of this container one at a time. So I'll only fill it about halfway there and shake it up a little bit. There's color 4. We have some left over there. Color 5, we only have a few. So that must be like the eyes or the antenna. I could probably look on here and see it's white. It's the center of just a couple flowers. So that actually gives me an idea here. It looks like it's only that one flower that I'm seeing. So I was trying to figure out how much extra was put in here. So it looks like 5 is symbol U, and it only requires 3 beads there. And we definitely have a lot more than 3. So yes, indeed, it looks like they do put lots of spares in here. So that's good to know. So we'll put that on here. And we'll get this kitted up in no time with... So we only really need 3. But we'll make sure they all safely go in there. And I will probably, I thought of a good reason for me to be keeping these bags. I will kit down back in these bags, even though the numbers don't mean anything for other kits, because the colors are going to be different for number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the other kits. So just move a few of these out of the way here. So I'm going to kit them back into those little bags. And that way, if I need some spares for another kit, I can have a little box with my spares and I can look through them. So I like to do a little line below the 6s and the 9s so I can tell which is which. And this one should be able to fit all of those in there as long as they're not too staticky. Let's find out. These actually look pretty staticky. Yeah, they're going to pour in okay. Just do a little bit of a shake, but you can definitely see them wanting to stay in their little bag. So let's see if we can coax the rest of them to come out. There we go. That wasn't too bad. Ooh, they're jumping. There's color 6. Beautiful, beautiful colors. And then color 7. I may stop this for a little bit and come back after I kit up a few more. I'm not sure you want to see this whole process. So I will turn the camera off here after this color and I will kit up the rest of these and then we'll get started on this kit so you can see how I deal with my thread and how I stitch these. So I'll be back in just a minute. Alright, so we're back now. I have my project all kitted up here. I have overflow here. I went ahead because color 20 was used so much. I put 2 boxes together of color 20 because I had a couple spares and I pulled all the needles out and used one of the boxes for the needles. So I can just kind of squish those onto the side. But I think while I'm working on this, I will lay them out beside me. So here we go. You can see the beautiful colors there. So I have colors 1 through 21 all kitted up in the container. And it looks like I was kind of wondering, where should I start? I usually start bottom left corner. I could go either way, bottom left or top left. I wanted to do something a little more exciting than just the background. But we've got butterflies, or that looks like a flower, a butterfly and a flower at either end. So we'll just start with bottom corner. So we have our thread here, and like I said, I use this doubled, and I'll show you why. So take off the packaging here, and you can see, hopefully, once I start this, it's pretty secure on there. So when you first open it, you don't have to worry about it all coming apart in your hand and coming undone. So this is, it's kind of like fishing line, only it's white and it's thicker. It's probably some sort of nylon thread that has multiple little strands in it. So it is twisted with multiple strands, which is why it is pretty strong. So you could stitch with just one thread, but then you worry about the needle coming off of the thread as you pull. So that's why I do two, because I do one long strand folded in half. So I'm going to thread my needle here, and yes, I colored on myself while I was writing the stickers with all the numbers on there. But see, because this thread is thin, it's really easy to thread these needles. And I'm just going to get a length of thread. I'm going to do it maybe a little bit shorter than I normally do for video, because if I make it too long, I'll be pulling it off the camera and it'll be a bit harder to see. So by doing it this way, my needle is secure without having like a little tail that's holding the needle on, so I can pull this really tight without worrying about that needle coming undone. So for the very first one, I know normally in cross stitch you don't tie a knot, but for this very first one, because there's nothing to secure it to, and these are heavy beads, I'm going to go ahead and tie a knot at the end. So breaking cross stitch rule number 1 by tying a knot. Oop, that knot didn't work. Let me try again. I usually just roll the thread across my finger to tie a knot, but it only tied one side there. So let me try the knot again. So I will just kind of twist it around my finger a couple times and then roll it. Oop, it's a little slippery, so I do sometimes struggle a little bit with tying my first knot. But don't worry, once you get some stitches down, you don't have to tie knots in your thread anymore. You can just secure it on the backs of other stitches. So there we go. I think that's a secure. Nope. Dang. Having a fun time here getting the knot tied. Some days are like that. Normally I don't have this much trouble. There is a small knot there on that one. I don't know if you can see that. Usually I like a little bit bigger knot to feel more secure, because like I said, you want beads to stay. And I've been doing bead work for a while. My beaded Santa ornaments, Mill Hill bead kits, and various others. Okay, I think we got a good enough knot there. So I'm gonna trim the ends and pull on it a couple times and see. Okay, so I'm gonna start in the bottom corner, and there are different ways you can do this. You can do what they call cross country. So cross country means you take a color of, say, cross stitch thread like DMC color in your needle, and you do all the stitches of that color. So you're moving across the canvas working that one color. So for example, if I were to take this symbol and do it cross country, I would just get one color of bead out, and I would just do all of those and then move across and jump over here and do those. But the interesting thing about this kind of beaded cross stitch is it all uses the same thread. So there's no reason to switch threads. You don't have to do it cross country like that. You can just switch out your beads as you move across. So you could go across a single row and just switch out your bead colors and do an entire row like that. Now I don't like the way it flops and gets all heavy by doing it full row by row. So what I like to do is little square sections. So each one of these sections is 10 by 10 or 100 little squares. So I like to do them in little square sections. So I'm going to go across 10 and back and 10 and back and finish this little section. And then I can do this section here. And I can go either diagonal or I can go up or across. It's up to you. I like to work diagonally because then the weight is distributed down in the stuff I finished, and then it's lighter on the side with no beads where I haven't finished. So tip number 1, use double and tie the bottom so you don't have to worry about losing your needle as you're stitching. Tip number 2, do 10 by 10 squares. So it's like little pieces and little chunks, just like how we section off a diamond painting. So I'm going to find where the edge is, which is right here. I'm going to poke my needle through to the back so I can see where that is. Okay. And I'm going to take this, even though I've got a knot, I'm going to go across here, if you can see that, and I'm going to secure my needle through those vertical threads on the back of the canvas and pull. And even it all out. So that knot is just going to help hold that first row. That's all it's for. And then we can start stitching. So this first square here, we're going to start at the bottom and pull it through to the front, and now we need to find that color of bead. So I'm gonna double check because that corner symbol looks just a little odd there. It is symbol number 3 on here, which is color number 19. So that symbol was red with the blue dot. Okay, I see it now. Yes, that is red with the blue dot. I wasn't really sure. Sometimes at the very start, I like to double check. So here's the beauty of these containers. So I don't have to worry about keeping sets of beads on the little, either the flat table or the little sticky pads or anything like that. I just reach in, grab my bead, close the container with my other hand. It's all one quick motion, and I've got my color 19 here, and then I put it back in order so I can find it very easily. And now we came up this corner, we're going to go down diagonally. So we'll go down that corner, and our bead is secure. Now for the first few, what I like to do is do a little stitch to tack it down and make sure it's going to stay, because again, I don't like beads to come undone. So I'm going to come back up that hole here, if I can work my way there. So I'm coming back up, and to secure this first one, I'm going to make sure it's all pulled tight, no knots or anything, and I'm just going to go either vertically or sideways. So I'm going to go vertically because I'm going to want to come up that next hole. So this is just to secure that first bead, and it is not going anywhere now. It's on there really tight. So if you want to turn this into a pillow or do something with it later on, you want those beads secure. So with the double thread there and then that securing stitch plus the knot on the back, that bead is not going anywhere. And I do that same securing stitch about every, I don't know, 5 to 7 beads as I do it, so that if I did end up with a knot or a loose bead, it would only be a small section that I could go back and fix easily in the future, or if I lost a bead, the entire thing wouldn't come undone. So that's why I do that. So that next color there, it looks like the green with the dot, which is color number 21 there. So again, pretty easy there, and it looks like we got 3 of those, so I can keep this out to do 3 of them. So we'll just grab one here and see how quick and easy it is to pull one out, and I always secure it. Like I said, I've got a dog that likes to come say hi. She's laying beside me on the floor wondering why I'm talking to myself. She doesn't quite understand the video concept. but she will get bored occasionally and want to say hi. And I do stitch in my hand instead of in a hoop, and I can flip it over and always be checking for knots and also see where to poke my needle back through. Another reason I like to stitch in hand. So there's one bead, and we have 2 more of this color in that row. So we'll do another one here. And I just pull very carefully because it is easy to knot this thread if it gets twisted. Normally I don't have much problem, but every once in a while you run into a twisty piece and you have to kind of let it go and dangle it, which is, again, is why it's really good to have the needle secured that way, so you're not worrying about your needle falling off of your thread. So there we go. And you can even keep out, instead of like putting back in the box, if I know I'm working through a certain area with certain colors, I will just kind of leave them out. Oopsies. Our bead tried to escape off our needle before we could secure it. I'm gonna move that off of there. So there's 3 of that color. Pull tight, check the back, poke it through. And I've seen stitching with Laura, she likes to do the sewing stitch, which I will show you that technique on the next one here. So we have a dark blue dot, which looks like number 3, but since this is a first time, I will go ahead and compare it. We're down here. So that blue dot is indeed number 3. So we're working through these kind of maroonish colors. So first we had this dark brown, then 3 of those, and now we're doing lighter. So this definitely nice fall colors here. So my needle's just waiting for me there. I can secure my bead there and do that stitch. So that's 5, but since we secured the first one, I'll go ahead and do a couple more there. And we're back to color 21. And with only 21 symbols and colors to learn, it's pretty quick and easy to memorize what symbol is what. So I didn't have to look that one up. I just knew that was color 21. And then every once in a while you might have to work through a knot or something. And now I'm going to go ahead and secure there. So we've got 6 beads there. I'm going to come back through that spot there, that bottom left corner, but instead of going diagonal, I'm just going to go horizontally. Backwards, forwards, it doesn't matter. It's just a way to secure that, and they will all line up and look much neater once you fill in the whole area. So it looks like my 10 line is right there, so we got 4 more to do. We'll look next for that little purple X, which is color number 8 according to this. So we'll pull out 8, which is pretty dark green, and we'll have 2 of these. So the sewing method means you do everything in one motion. You would go down and then back up in preparation for the next one, like that, all in one motion. And sometimes that can go just a little bit faster, especially if you're not stitching in hand and you're stitching in a hoop. I worry though, I don't like doing that as much because I've found I can knot my thread sometimes doing that. So since this thread does get kind of twisty, because it is a few strands that are twisted together, it can get all twisty. So there's 2 of color 8 there, and we have 2 more of this 10 by 10 square, and then I'll start doing the next row there. And those 2 more are color number 3, which we already have out. So when you start doing these, you'll notice that the same color will be kind of in the little area you're working, so you don't need all 21 colors out. You just need a few at a time typically. So we'll do our first color 3. And then our next one, this thread is really short. Normally I go a lot longer. I'm only going to get a couple rows out of this short thread that I did here. So one more color 3. And this may take just slightly longer than setting the beads out on one of those sticky pads, but you do have to go through the process of setting them out, which means you have to pick out the color and all that anyway. So I find it just easier. Now we start going up and doing the second row here. So that one looks a little loose there, but because I did that tacking down stitch, and I'll go ahead and do one of those again. I'll just do a horizontal stitch there because this is white thread, and when you wash off all the color on here, it'll be white. You won't be able to see those little tacking stitches, but they will help secure the beads in small groups so that if you were to lose one. Now we have a green background with a green horizontal line, which that looks like color 15 on here. So 15 is the green on the green, which is a light green. So we have a couple of those. Oops, and I opened it while it was sitting kind of at an angle. There we go. This one's a little bit full because I went ahead and dumped the whole bag in there because it was so close. So we'll do, and because I did that little securing stitch, I'm not worried about these loosening up over there because I've secured it. So we'll do another 15. And we'll take that one. Whoop. He didn't want to come with us. Okay, we'll take that one there. Whoop. There we go. Pull it tight, make sure there's no knots. Looking good. So hopefully, I'm somewhat thinking about putting this in the camera view here. Those look a little bit loose, but that's because they're very close together on here. So they're a little bit wiggly right now, but it's going to tighten up here once I get the second row in and they'll all line up together. So that's a blue X. So that blue X, it looks like it's color 9 there, but just because it's the first time I've seen it on the printing here, I want to double check. Is that symbol? This shows, okay, that's not right. That is the green I just did, so yes, it is number 9. So it is that symbol on the chart, which is number 9 here, another green. We got a couple of those. So I like the big size holes on these beads, really easy to just grab them and secure them. And pull carefully. So this is actually a very colorful little section here. Now if you don't like them looking kind of wonky, you can go back through them a second time. But I don't find it necessary. Once you get enough in there, they straighten out and look great. There's color 9, and then we're back to that green stripe symbol, which is color number 15, which is the pale green, which we have right handy there. And this way we're not losing any beads at all. So I just get one, shut the container, and move along. So there's 15, and I can go a little bit faster, but since this is demo mode for you here, I'm just taking a little bit more time with it to make sure I pull my thread through and not get any knots or anything like that while I'm trying to show you. Now we have the green with that kind of purplish dot. That would be color 21. So we're back to the maroon colors here. We have a couple of those. We'll pick up the bead and do that one. And see if I wanted to. The one below it does look a little wonky, so I'm going to go ahead while I have my thread here and just go through it one more time just to make sure it's secure, and that will help it straighten up a little bit as well. And now I can keep going, do the next 21 there, and double check, no knots. So I may not be the fastest stitcher, but I guarantee that the stuff I stitch is pretty darn secure, because I don't want to go through all that work. When I used to crochet kind of early on with that magic loop method, I wouldn't secure my magic loop well enough, and I have worked really hard on Afghans just to watch them start coming undone. So I don't like stuff coming undone. So that is a yellow background with a red circle, which would be color 18. Now we're getting into a yellow. Oops, and sometimes I start opening too quick while they're still at a diagonal when they're full, and they try to spill out. So we rescued them. So color 18 here is this yellow, and then that pale purple X, which is color number 8. Got a lot of colors going on here. So there's 8. 8 is the dark green. Really pretty dark green here. So that's 2 rows, and my thread's getting pretty short here. And since I'm at the end of the row, I'm going to go ahead and secure it. So again, I'm just going to pop up one of the holes that's right there next to where I left off here, if I can get my needle in. And then back down either horizontally or vertically with no bead, like that. And now that row is secure. So there's the start. So I can keep going here for a little bit more, but I think I will probably end this. I got another 8. And I'll get back to you with progress on this one in the coming week or two. I was thinking this one would be fun to take on my trip, because we're going to be spending a few days in the car either way, going from here to Ohio, which is about a 2 to 3 day trip depending on how fast you drive, and we're going to be sightseeing along the way, so we'll be taking our time. But I'll have to try it and see. My hubby will be doing a lot of the driving because of my eyesight, but I don't know what it'll be like to have this on my lap in the car and switching out colors of beads in a car. I just don't know. I'll probably bring it with me, but I'm not sure how far I'll get with this one. It might be easier just to have a regular cross stitch with me. But I should probably go ahead and finish this to end this thread and show you how I do that. But we have a new color here, because we have light blue circle there, which is color number 4. A different color yellow. And this one is one of the staticky ones. So I'll tap it to make sure that they're not sticking. I'll do color number 4, and I'll do one more. I don't want to end it too short with the thread there. I want to have enough to secure it really well. So that's the green with the dot in it. That is color number 21. So this will be my last bead with this thread. It's maybe about 6 inches here. So this last one plus my securing stitch, I'll make it maybe about 4 or 5 inches for those that understand US system of measurement there. It's just what I'm used to. So now I'm going to do one more securing stitch before I end this. So come up and then back down somewhere horizontally or vertically. And I can do that twice here since this is the very end, and this is kind of slippery thread, so I'm going to do it twice. There we go. So that's secure. And again, I have maybe about 4 or 5 inches here. That's plenty. And you can even tie a knot on the back if it makes you feel better. So I can go back here, tuck underneath. Oh, I'll take this one. So to tie a knot, you just kind of put your needle underneath the thread and put it through your little loop. There, you don't have to do this. That's how you do a knot for sewing. So through the loop or underneath. Oh, it wants to catch on there. So underneath one of the stitches and then through the loop and pull. And then another way, if you don't want to do that, you can secure it across underneath the back of your stitches and then turn the corner. You do this a lot in knitting, and secure it going the other direction. So that way your securing thread goes 2 directions under there. And that is very secure, and it was easy to do. I had plenty of length there. So now I just cut it off and prepare a new thread. Find these scissors. I buried my scissors over there. So plenty of thread to work these at. Big spool there. Lots and lots of thread to work with. So you have a fresh start where everything is back in order. And then I can do the next row. So, like I said, I prefer 10 by 10 sections because then I can start seeing a picture, and to me it's just a lot more enjoyable to start seeing it come to life rather than going all the way across one row and then all the way back. Just little squares at a time, and that way I know how many stitches I've done. That's 100. So if you're playing some cross-stitch games where you have to stitch so many stitches a day on a project, the 10 by 10 squares here really make it easy to count how many stitches you've done. So thank you, Newcraftday, for this beautiful kit. And I highly recommend, if you like cross-stitch and you've not tried one of these beaded cross-stitch kits, take a look. Newcraftday provided this one for me, but they have lots of options. They have little ones. They have even larger than this one. They have a lot more of the regular cross-stitch kits showing up with beaded cross-stitch as they come up with more and more colors. English directions now, so it's really quick and easy to figure out. And I do appreciate you taking the time to watch this video. If you like my content, feel free to like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And check out the Newcraftday website and my discount code below. That'll help you save some money on one of these really nice kits, because they are a little bit more pricey because of the weight and the shipping, and all that will be a little bit more expensive. So stay tuned for progress, and I'll see you next time.